If you have never done a solo ride or a long distance ride and you've always wanted to do one, this is your video. Stay tuned. So hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is another episode of Everything Motorcycle and Travel. Of course, on this channel I also share my motorcycle journey and other stories. If it is your first time here, my name is Wamoyo Karaoke, and if you've never subscribed to my channel, please make sure you click the subscription button down below and the bell right next to it so that you're notified every time I post a new video. Today's video is about my first ever solo long distance ride. At the end of this video, you should be able to plan your own solo ride. You should feel comfortable if you're one of those who are afraid of doing a ride on your own and you always want to do a ride with other people. At the end of this video, you should be able to feel more comfortable and confident to take a long distance solo ride. In July 2017, I decided to do a long distance ride on my own into Tanzania. I actually left Nairobi, crossed into Tanzania through Namanga, then crossed all the way to Kigoma, came back via Mwanza, entered Kenya again through Isebania border, went to Kisumu, had a night in Kisumu, and then rode back to Nairobi through Muhoroni, Nakuru, and back to Nairobi. This ride was 3,100 kilometers in total, and I spent 10 days on the road, and of course 10 days of amazing, enjoyable ride by myself. Briefly to tell you how I came about making this decision to do a ride, I actually never gave it so much thought because it was influenced by friends we were hosting back at home. We had a couple friends from Germany who were in Kenya to ride from Kenya all the way to South Africa. At the same time, I met another girl, she's also a biker, and so I spent time riding with Rashmi Tambe from US in central Kenya. Kirsten and Anya arrived in Kenya before Rashmi, and when they came, they first took their ride to go to Masai Mara and go to Serengeti, and then they were to return back home and then now start off completely for the journey all the way now heading to South Africa. And Rashmi arrived when they were in Tanzania. We had planned to do a ride around central Kenya, so we visited my mom, and then we also did the Nyahururu route, came back via Nakuru, came to Naivasha, spent a few days in Naivasha, and then came back to Nairobi. So when I was riding with Rashmi, Anya and Kirsten returned home and they actually left the country. So when I came back, I missed them. And I felt bad that I did not say goodbye. And I just thought, why not ride to Kigoma and be able to say goodbye? At the same time, enjoy a solo ride. And that is how my ride to Tanzania was arrived at. We were also planning our world tour, and this was July 2017, so it was a year into our planning. And I also saw this as an opportunity for me to test myself, see whether I am ready for what we are planning. Will I be able to ride? Will I feel comfortable? I mean, I just wanted to put myself out there and test myself. And trust me, this particular ride gave me more than the test. It gave me lessons, it gave me courage, it gave me confidence. I came back totally different person. So let me take you through the planning of this ride. I'm sure you're here for two things. You're either here to learn how to plan for your own long distance ride, whether you're doing it solo or you're doing it with others, or you're here because you want to know both. You want to learn how to plan your long distance ride, and you also want to be able to do it solo. I'm going to mention the areas that are key in your planning for a long distance ride. You need to know how much time you have. It is going to be time versus distance. So if you have one day, you can only do so much. If you have a month, you can do way much more. So you need to make. Secondly, you need to pick your destination. Know where you want to go. Are you going to Kisumu? Are you going to Tanzania? Are you going to Uganda? Are you going to Rwanda? Pick your destination. The third one is, now you need to come up with a route to get to where you're going. You need to look at various options that you have in terms of which roads to use. We are all different riders, so some people would prefer to do off-road, other people would prefer to stay on tarmac, and other people would prefer to have a combination of both. But sometimes you may want to just do tarmac only, but you find surprises way ahead in your journey. So you need to be prepared to be able to do all the terrains. There are things that you need to look at when you're planning your route. When you're planning your day-to-day mileage, make sure that distance has accommodation available, has petrol stations available, and not just one town. It's better when there are at least 2 or 3, because sometimes you get delayed by anything. So it's good to know that if you don't reach the destination you had planned for the day, will you find somewhere to sleep? Like, those are the most important. Make sure there's petrol stations, places to sleep, and of course places to eat. You need maps. Most of the times you're traveling to places you don't know, but if you're traveling to places you know, then you're safe. Remember that internet is not accessible all the time, so make sure you download your offline maps. I used Google Maps and I also used maps.me. I would recommend that you have both. We've covered the route planning, what you need to look at for the routes, and we've covered the maps. So now your motorcycle. Know your motorcycle very well, and as you're choosing your route and terrains, know that that motorcycle can handle the terrains that you want to do, can handle the distances you're planning for each day, and in terms of performance and fuel as well. Make sure that you choose your routes and terrains based on the motorcycle that you're going to ride. When you're planning for a long distance ride, you must carry your tools. All motorcycles come with tools that are under your seat. That toolkit is just a basic toolkit, and it will not save you in case of anything else besides adjusting a chain and probably opening one nut or two. Make sure you enhance your toolkit, and this is not just for your long distance travel. If you haven't enhanced your toolkit today, take out that toolkit. Have a look at your motorcycle. See what types of nuts you have in terms of sizes. Do you need a star? Do you need a flat screwdriver? Do you need Allen keys? Look at exactly what you need in your motorcycle and enhance your toolkit today. After this video, that's the next thing you should do. You have to come up with a budget, and the budget, I always say the budget is relative. It depends on how much you want to spoil yourself. Do you want to stay in 3-star hotels, 5-star hotels? Do you want to do bed and breakfast? Do you want to do camping? It depends on the choices you make for yourself, and that defines the budget that you're going to do. But of course, make sure that your budget caters for fuel, accommodation, food, and miscellaneous. Anything can happen sometimes. There is also the parking, what you park for your long distance ride, and again, this also depends on individuals. If you want to do camping, you must carry camping gear. If you're going to be doing activities like swimming, hiking, and all that, it means that you have to carry a little more so that you have the right clothes for each activity. The most important, which is the documents. If you're going to be traveling within the country, what you need is actually your driving license. You must have it. And of course, if you have a medical cover, you need to carry your medical cover card. You also need to have your phones with you and all that. But if you're traveling outside the country, you need more documentations to carry with you. You need to carry your logbook. You need to carry your immunization card, that in this case yellow fever, that is the most commonly asked for. You need to have your passport, you need to have your driving license, and you need to also again carry probably ATM cards and medical cards. If you're going to use two different borders in terms of exit and entry, you need to leave your logbook with Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA. But if you're going to be traveling to multiple countries, you need to carry your logbook with you, and you need to let the customs know that your journey is actually longer than just one country. You don't need to deposit it at the border because you need to show ownership of your motorcycle in different countries. There's also a canet which you can travel with. It is very expensive, so only use it if it is a must. So make sure you have your COMESA insurance, and also when you cross the COMESA region, the insurances are usually sold at the border. Some countries don't demand them, other countries insist it's a must buy. The best thing is to research this information before you travel so that you have all the information of what you need in terms of costs, in terms of documents before you leave the country. You can imagine getting into the third country and you're told you can't proceed with your journey because some of the things that you need, you left them back at home. Avoid that. Also plan for the surprises that may come along and be able to ride in any terrain, weather or conditions. Having talked about the key areas of planning for your long distance ride, of course, you are still here with me and you want to know why a solo ride is something that you should do at least once. So on this particular ride to Tanzania, a lot of things happened. I lost my horn in Arusha, and that was my second day. I got into dirt road. I rode in sand. I rode in deep fine soil. I did gravel. I rode at night. I got lost and used the wrong route. And I also got into an accident in Mwanza. I'll just highlight the lessons that came from this ride. First and foremost, I had never ridden solo anywhere. I met my husband 4 months into my riding, and my first ride out of the city was with him. And any other ride after that, any other long distance ride that I did with my husband. And therefore I had someone making decisions. I had someone doing the planning. I had someone who was always guiding me. We're gonna use this road, we're gonna park like this, we are going to stay in this place. I had a lot of guidance and I was never alone. In this particular trip, I was able to make decisions on my own. And the other thing that's happened is that I built my confidence in riding. Like I told you, I had planned to ride only in tarmac, but ended up finding myself in gravel, in sand, in deep fine soil, in dirt roads, deserted roads, and I even got lost and even had an accident. This trip really built my confidence. I had to face my challenges and my fears and overcome them by myself. This trip also helped me understand what the world tour is going to look like. I had no actual or real experience of what I was getting myself into. The most profound thing that happened to me was preparing myself for the adventure that we were to undertake in a year to come. It also gave me a moment of self-reflection. Like I was me, myself, and I for 10 days on the road, overcoming my fears, facing challenges, and especially when the accident happened in Mwanza, a lot of things came into my mind. And of course, I was able to overcome the greatest fear. You know, when you have an accident, most times you don't want to get back on the bike. But on this time, I had no other choice because I was in Mwanza and I had to get on that bike the following day. Dealing with that fear and that anxiety after an accident was not easy. But guess what? I did it. It also helped me reflect on my faith and my relationship with God. So in overall, I think a solo ride is something that everybody should take and should do at least once in their lifetime. It has more benefits to you as a person, as an individual, whether it's improving your skills in riding, whether it is facing your fears, whether it is learning to overcome challenges, whether it is learning how to make decisions in your motorcycling by yourself, or getting that meantime to deal with matters within you. A solo ride is something that everyone should take once in their lifetime, at least once in your lifetime. So if you've come this far and watched this video up to this moment, I hope you have found it helpful. I've been able to help you plan for a solo ride or a long distance ride. I've also been able to help you overcome the fear of riding on your own or taking your own solo ride. And if you have taken a solo ride, I would love to hear your experience in the comments down below. If you were planning to do one and you found this video helpful, please also comment in the comment section down below. Until the next episode, it is time for me to say goodbye, but not before I ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Make sure you click the red button subscription and click the bell right next to it so that you're notified every time I post a video. For now, it is goodbye. See you in the next video.